Amara Okeki adjusted her scrub cap in the dim light of the locker room at Piedmont Medical Center, the hum of Atlanta's morning traffic filtering through the window. At 34, she was a registered nurse in the hospital's intensive care unit, her hands steady as she tied her sneakers, her mind already on the 12-hour shift ahead. It was May 16th, 2025, and the ICU was at 90% capacity, a mix of post-surgical patients, heart failure cases, and a few lingering respiratory infections. Her badge read Amara Okeki, RN, BSN, a title earned through years of study and sweat. But to her patients, she was simply Amara, the one who listened, who cared, who fought for them. Atlanta was a city of 500,000, its hospitals a lifeline for the Southeast, and Piedmont was among the busiest, a 600-bed facility where Amara had worked for 8 years. Nursing was her calling, paying $82,000 a year, solid for a single woman with a one-bedroom apartment and a used Honda Civic. She was skilled, 4 lines, ventilators, patient advocacy, but the job was a marathon, demanding emotional and physical endurance. Today, she'd care for 4 patients, each a story, each a life in her hands. Yet, as she clipped on her badge, a question lingered. How much longer can I carry this weight? Her shift began at 7 a.m. The ICU, a symphony of beeps and hushed voices. Amara scanned her patient's charts. Mr. Carter, 62, recovering from bypass surgery. Ms. Lopez, 45, battling sepsis. Mrs. Jenkins, 78, on a ventilator for pneumonia. And Jaden, 19, a car accident victim with a traumatic brain injury. She greeted her team, Dr. Patel, the attending, Keisha, her fellow RN, and Jamal, a nursing assistant, with a nod, her calm a shield against the chaos. Rough night, Keisha whispered, handing her a coffee. Jaden's vitals dipped at 3 a.m. Family's a wreck. Amara nodded, her heart tightening. She'd seen too many families shattered, too many lives hanging by a thread. Nursing was growing, projected at 6% through 2033, with median pay of $85,000. But the shortage was acute, with 20% of nurses leaving due to burnout. Amara felt the strain, yet she stayed, driven by the moments when a patient squeezed her hand or a family said, "Thank you." Amara's day was a blur of precision and empathy. She started with rounds, checking vitals, adjusting drips, and updating charts on the hospital's EHR system. Mr. Carter was stable, joking about his grandkids. She smiled, adjusting his oxygen. Ms. Lopez was critical, her fever spiking. Amara titrated antibiotics, conferring with Dr. Patel. Mrs. Jenkins was frail, her eyes distant. Amara cleaned her tracheostomy, whispering, "You're doing great." Jaden was the hardest, comatose, his parents sobbing at his bedside. She monitored his intracranial pressure, held his mom's hand, and prayed silently, a habit from her Nigerian upbringing. The ICU was high stakes, with 12-hour shifts, 3 days a week, plus overtime when staffing was tight. Amara's role demanded technical skill, managing ventilators, reading EKGs, spotting sepsis early, and emotional agility, soothing families while staying focused. She earned $40 an hour, with $60 for overtime, but the real cost was her body, aching feet, a strained back, and her heart, grief for patients lost. Nurses were in demand, 19,300 openings projected annually, but the shortage meant heavier loads, with patient ratios creeping from 1 to 2 to 1 to 4 on bad days. Her routine was relentless. Assess, medicate, document, repeat. Breaks were rare. A 20-minute lunch, if lucky, often eaten standing. She collaborated with pharmacists, respiratory therapists, and social workers, her voice firm in care meetings. Miss Lopez needs a psych consult. She's withdrawing. Her advocacy saved lives, like when she caught Mr. Carter's arrhythmia, prompting a stat cardiologist visit. But the pressure was unforgiving. Mistakes could be fatal, and the hospital's 4% error rate haunted her. Amara's world was woven with connections, each patient and colleague a thread. Her patients were Atlanta's heartbeat. Mr. Carter, a retired bus driver with a laugh like thunder. Ms. Lopez, a single mom fighting for her kids. Mrs. Jenkins, a church deacon with a Bible by her bed. Jaden, a college freshman dreaming of engineering. She knew their stories, Mr. Carter's love for jazz, Ms. Lopez's fear of hospitals, and used them to build trust, easing their pain with a word or a touch. Her team was family. Keisha, 40, was her rock, trading gallows humor to survive tough shifts. Dr. Patel, 38, respected her instincts, often deferring to her on patient comfort. Jamal, 25, was eager, learning fast, his goal to become an RN. Outside the hospital, her circle was tight. Her mom, Ngozi, lived in Decatur, cooking jollof rice and urging Amara to find a nice man. Her brother, Chidi, a pharmacist in Chicago, called weekly, teasing her about her workaholic ways. Her best friend, Naya, a school counselor, dragged her to yoga, saying, "You save everyone but yourself, Mara." Her personal life was sparse. Min, her college sweetheart, had left at 28, unable to handle her night shifts. She dated rarely, her last fling, a doctor, fizzling when he moved to Seattle. At 34, she wanted love, but prioritized Lynn's education and her own sanity. Her apartment, with its African art and secondhand couch, was a sanctuary, though often empty. Her nights spent with Netflix or poetry. One patient, Mrs. Jenkins's daughter, Tasha, became a friend. During a quiet shift, Tasha said, "You're an angel, Amara. How do you keep going?" Amara smiled, deflecting, but Tasha's gratitude lingered, a reminder of why she stayed. Nursing was a calling, but also a crucible. Shifts were grueling, 12 hours on her feet, lifting patients, dodging bodily fluids. Last winter, a combative patient bruised her arm. Last month, a needle stick scare required a week of antivirals. Her back ached, her knees creaked, and sleep was a luxury, often 5 hours before a shift. The emotional toll was heavier. Losing patients like Mr. Evans, 55, to a stroke, or consoling Jaden's parents as his EEG flattened. The industry was strained. Hospitals ran lean, with 10% nurse vacancies, forcing Amara to cover extra patients. Pay was decent. Nurse practitioners earned $130,000, with 38% growth. But RNs like her faced stagnant wages against 3% inflation. Overtime helped, but burnout loomed. 30% of nurses surveyed in 2024 considered quitting. Technology added pressure. New EHR systems required training, and AI monitors flagged anomalies. But nothing replaced human judgment. Her biggest fear was losing her fire. Nursing was her identity, but the grind dulled it. Some nights, charting at 2 a.m., she felt like a machine, not a healer. She'd lie awake, wondering if she should pivot. Nurse educator, $80,000, 6% growth. Public health, $75,000, 9% growth. Or leave healthcare entirely. Her BSN opened doors, but at 34, with $10,000 in savings and Lynn's tuition, could she risk change? Nia saw her struggle. Over coffee, she said, "You're a hero, Mara, but you're human." You can't pour from an empty cup. Teach, write, something. Don't let this job eat you. Amara nodded, but her journal revealed her truth. I love nursing, but it's breaking me. What's next? More of this? Or a new path? Change came unexpectedly, sparked by a crisis. During a night shift, Jaden's vitals crashed. Seizures, his pressure spiking. Amara acted fast, administering lorazepam, paging neuro, and holding his mom's hand as the team stabilized him. Hours later, he was stable, his parents weeping with relief. His dad hugged her, saying, "You saved him, Amara. You're a miracle." The moment hit deep. Nursing wasn't just tasks. It was lives, families, hope. But it also broke her open. Exhausted, she sat in the break room, crying, Keisha at her side. "I can't keep doing this," she whispered. "Not like this." Keisha nodded. "You're the best, Mara. But you gotta find balance. Teach, lead, write about this. Share what you know." The next day, Amara acted. She applied for a part-time nurse educator role at a local nursing school, paying $40 an hour, 20 hours a week. Educators were in demand, with 6% growth, and teaching let her stay in nursing without the ICU's toll. She started a blog, Nurse's Heart, sharing stories of care and resilience, gaining 1,000 followers in a month. Content creators could earn $50,000 with scale, and her marketing savvy gave her hope. She also volunteered more, leading health workshops at the pantry, screening blood pressure for free. The work was unpaid, but vital, and the nonprofit offered a part-time coordinator role, $60,000 annualized, which she considered. She enrolled in a $1,500 public health course, eyeing roles in community outreach, paying $75,000, with 9% growth. Atlanta was Amara's home, its people her purpose. Mr. Carter sent a jazz CD thanking her for his recovery. Miss Lopez, discharged, brought her kids to meet Nurse Amara, their hugs a treasure. Mrs. Jenkins passed, but Tasha invited Amara to her memorial, calling her family. Jaden woke, his slow recovery a miracle, his parents naming a scholarship after her. Her team grew closer. Keisha joined her blog, co-writing posts, their bond ironclad. Dr. Patel recommended her for the educator role, citing her skill. Jamal passed his RN exam, crediting Amara's mentorship, and gave her a mug. Best nurse ever. Her mom visited, cooking egusi soup, saying, "You're making us proud, Amara." Nia organized a yoga retreat, easing her stress. Her personal life stirred. At the pantry, she met David, a 37-year-old social worker. His quiet kindness, a contrast to her intensity. They swapped stories over coffee, his laugh a spark. They weren't serious, yet, but their walks felt like possibility. Ngozi approved, whispering, "He's a good one." By fall, Amara's life was richer. The educator role started, her classes inspiring 30 students, earning $4,000 a month. Nurse's Heart hit 5,000 followers, netting $500 monthly. Her post about Jaden going viral. The pantry workshops grew, the nonprofit offering the coordinator job, which she accepted, balancing it with teaching. The public health course opened doors. She applied for a city health role, $80,000, interviewing next month. She moved to a brighter apartment, hanging Lynn's art and her own poems. David became a regular, their dates a mix of hikes and talks about purpose. She wasn't ready for love, but she was open, a shift from her guarded years. Lynn thrived at UNC, calling her Supermom. Her journal filled, "I'm a nurse, but also a teacher, a writer, a healer finding her way. One evening, Amara stood in the ICU, checking Mrs. Lopez's chart, Atlanta's skyline beyond the window. A code blue sounded, and she ran, her hands steady, her heart full. She wasn't just saving lives. She was building one, hers and others. At 34, she'd chosen a path, not a finish line. She opened her blog, drafting a post about care as courage. The words, a promise. The future was hers, one pulse at a time,